Hey everyone, it's Raj from 3CB Performance. Saints QB and the NFL's all-time passing yardage leader Drew Brees injured the thumb on his right hand, his throwing hand, on September 15th against the LA Rams when his hand was hit by the unstoppable force known as Aaron Donald. In this video, I'll explain the injury that likely took place, the unprecedented surgery to repair it, and when to expect Drew back on the field. The team hasn't released injury specifics, which is par for the course in the NFL, but what we do know is that Brees injured a ligament near the joint that comprises the base of the thumb, known as the metacarpal phalangeal MCP joint. The joint is stabilized by two ligaments, the radial collateral ligament RCL, which sits on the inside of the joint and provides stability when the thumb is pushed inwards across the palm, aka thumb adduction and flexion, and the ulnar collateral ligament UCL, which sits on the outside and provides stability when the thumb is pulled outwards, aka thumb abduction and extension. It's very likely that Brees damaged his UCL when we connect three key dots. Aaron Donald's hand came in and hit Brees on his follow-through after a throw, pushing Drew's thumb outwards. This puts a huge stress on the ulnar collateral ligament, UCL. The research shows that in nearly 86% of these traumatic hand injuries, the UCL is damaged. At the start of the second half, Drew was testing out his thumb and couldn't pick up a football. This weakened grasp or inability to grasp at all is a key symptom and telltale sign of a thumb UCL injury. Drew's injury required surgery, which took place on Wednesday, September 18th, and I consulted with a resident orthopedic surgeon who told me that surgery is typically indicated for UCL tears in two different cases: a grade 3 complete tear, a lesser severity tear that also has an accompanying stentor lesion. A stentor lesion is when the UCL ligament gets flipped over a fibrous tissue near the thumb called the adductor aponeurosis. This fibrous tissue mechanically interferes with the ligament and prevents it from healing and reattaching the torn strands. You also occasionally see this with the medial collateral ligament MCL in the knee. We'll never know which scenario applies to Brees, but ultimately that's immaterial. What we do know is that he had surgery to repair the ligament. Drew chose hand surgeon Stephen S. Shin, who also notably repaired Angels superstar Mike Trout's UCL rupture last season, for the procedure. In addition to reattaching the torn ends of the ligament with internal sutures and anchors, Shin used what's known as a quote internal brace, made by the medical company Arthrex, to reinforce the ligament. This internal brace is a suture tape that purportedly augments healing by providing immediate biomechanical support and strength during a critical period of ligament healing. This surgery is unprecedented and possibly groundbreaking, as it's the first time an internal brace has been used on the throwing hand of an NFL quarterback. Accordingly, Drew reached out to Mike Trout prior to the surgery to get his opinion on the recovery and outcome. Reports are Trout endorsed it wholeheartedly. After surgery, Drew will initially be in a thumb speaker cast for roughly 2 to 4 weeks, and then partake in aggressive daily physio to regain range of motion and strength in the thumb as quickly as possible. The research shows that return to play after ulnar collateral ligament UCL surgery is typically around 7 weeks, with no decrease in performance after coming back and minimal risk of re-injury. When it comes to their internal bracing technique, the research is still in its infancy and too soon to say if it helps expedite the process or not. Anecdotally, Trout returned in 6 weeks after his repair and told Brees that he very likely could have been back in 5. For more perspective, I spoke to multiple health professionals familiar with athletes returning to high-level sport after UCL repair with added internal bracing, and the timelines range from as short as 4 weeks to as long as 9 weeks, with the consensus being around 6 weeks. The key hurdle and deciding factor in the timeline will be how quickly Drew can effectively grip a football, at which point he'll begin to test the thumb in higher intensity, game-like situations. At that point, the return would depend on how the thumb responds. He might feel great and get back in 5 to 6 weeks. He might feel pain and weakness, need more time in rehab, and get back in 8 weeks. Taking everything into consideration, I expect Brees to be out at least 5 weeks, at which point we'll start to hear more about a wait-and-see approach from the Saints, where they're constantly evaluating and reevaluating Brees on a day-to-day basis to see if he can potentially play that week. That's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. My goal is to provide you with in-depth, evidence-based, narrative-free analysis. You can always find me on IG and Twitter at 3CB Performance. Make sure to sub to the channel for the latest updates. 3CB out.